range of sexy tunes.
Indeed, nicely put.
So that's Angry Nerds by Virgil, which is a great follow-up to the previous soliloquy.
Nice. Ooh, nice word as well. But yeah, there was the funk tunes were actually very well done on the Amiga. Kind of funk, or
yes, some of them are pretty spectacular. Yes. We played thought we played two very good ones from one demo scene thing, Book of Songs. One was the very saxophone tune.
Yes.
Which was an Amiga tune, and the other one was a real wonderful bass guitar heavy jazz piece, which one of those tunes you go, is that done on an Amiga? I don't think so, but it was. So there we go. Yes, and Alien 64 was asking about some old Amiga tunes and things sounded a bit no treble. I think that was very much selected depending on what kind of listener you were. A lot of people listened with the Amiga filter on, which
yeah, it was a bizarre thing that you could switch off the filter. Yeah, you could switch off that filter by switching off the power LED. There was a command or a bit that you set or unset in the Amiga hardware that switched off the power LED that happened also to switch off the well, I said high pass, but Bass Cadet has corrected me, low pass.
But and with that off, you heard some Amiga tunes that were just trying to punch above their weight, and it was just a bit very sore in the ear, and that's why I'm not a huge fan of a lot of Amiga music, but I do make a lot of exceptions now as well. I think as far as playback went, Alien 64, I think they were free to choose what sample rate they played at within limits, so I think it was anything from 4 kilohertz or something right up to, I think the Amiga could manage about 25 kilohertz without doing any fancy shenanigans, so it really depended on where the musician based their samples and could afford to play them in terms of headroom, because famously, it's a great way for me to lead in here, the famous music from Monkey Island, which was on many formats, including chiptune formats. The Amiga had a really, really good stab at the music for Monkey Island, but of course its home was really the PC at that point, where people were throwing all sorts of fancy MIDI hardware at it. But infamously on the Amiga, the main theme on the Amiga version, it does a very strange thing, and it's really weird when you hear arrangers and remixers cover the Amiga version, because it's like, it's wrong, but it's actually right as well, because they're covering the Amiga version. There's a point where in the main part of the melody, it's supposed to go to a high C, and the Amiga at that key that it was in, playing that tune, could not achieve that note without resampling the instrument, so they would have the same instrument at a higher octave, and they didn't do it. So rather than go up to the high C, they dropped to the low C. So this is where you get this weird effect of the Monkey Island theme. Except the Amiga version was
yes.
That's my magnificent performance of the Monkey Island theme.
That was very good. Oh yes.
So I think I covered this on my first podcast thing, and I played the Amiga version. Thank you. And I played the Amiga version, and I played the other versions, including the chip version, which obviously managed it. It was just a weird limitation of the Amiga.
Yes.
I think it's probably, maybe we'll need to ask Mr. Hulsbeck, but I'm willing to bet that rather than him composing the entire set of soundtracks to the game, he probably wrote a playback driver software to play the original core MIDI music, and did some, jiggery pokery to make it work within the Amiga's limitations.
Nice.
Because I can't imagine someone actively composing letting that slip by, because that's a drastic change to the core melody,
Yes.
whichever way you look at it. But it's just interesting when you hear people who grew up with the Amiga version, that's what they expect. They expect that octave drop. There we go, that ends 17 minutes of musician talk.
Musician Talk with Kate Lorimer. And also, I need two things I need to ask. Actually, no, one thing to ask. When are you doing another podcast?
Real soon now. I have two absolute ones I have to do. I've got the one that's about songs used in games, and I have a collaborative one that I'm going to do with my good friend Fee, who is a fellow nerd, and she is very, very determined to work on a podcast with me.
Yes. I'm looking forward to that as well.
Did you see the photo on
I did.
Twitter and things today?
Yes.
I forgot that was taken. She ambushed me when I was at the Comic-Con in Glasgow in my Stormtrooper armour, and she was very funny. She was very funny.
It was
That's all I can say.
it was nice. It was a good 2-photo thing going on.
Yes, I think she'd planned that one.
Yes.
Anyway, there we go.
Anyway, so thank you for that as well. It was what was the name of the tune again? Because it was about 3 years ago.
Angry Nerds.
Angry Nerds. Thank you.
By Virgil.
Excellent. So thank you for that. Have you got anything else to play?
I do not at this time.
At this time, okay. We've still got some time for the show. Also, I mentioned it on IRC, but I just want to let you guys know, because we are all nerds and all happy and everything, it seems a very high percentage of you guys like Stranger Things. The second season of Stranger Things is coming out on Netflix on Halloween, October 31st. So make sure you remember that.
Hell of a lot of good things coming out this year, movie-wise. There's, well, obviously there's the new series of Game of Thrones coming on at some point. There's Stranger Things.
June. There's no, not June. I think it's August. Orange is the New Black comes out June 9th.
Yeah, the Wonder Woman movie's out in 4 weeks. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is out at the moment in the cinemas, apparently doing very well.
Yes.
And there's Star Wars at the end of the year as well.
Yes.
So there's lots. Arilu. It's going to happen at some point in the next 7-8 months.
But 7 or 8 months, wow.
I have to plan that far ahead. Do you have any idea what we're talking about here?
Yeah, you talking into a mic.
Is that meant to be funny?
Yeah. So I will play a request before I am punched in the something.
Vagina.
Yeah, in the vagina. Because Kate is about to... Oh, God. Bart's here. Hey, Bart.
Hi.
Hi, Bart. You doing the bass line for this song?
Apparently so.
Oh, you have a Scottish accent, Bart. Okay.
It was only a temporary thing, dude. It's okay now. Thanks for asking.
There he is. Ah, there we go. Brilliant. It's good to have some red hot Barty peppers on.
That's totally right, dude. That's what I'm doing. That's Bart from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Thank you very much,
here
Bart.
to play tunes and chew bubblegum and kick you in your vagina hatch and listen to texts coming through on my phone that are not relevant to this conversation.
And you wouldn't have got away with it if it wasn't for the meddling kids.
Just know Buzzwank is weeping in laughter at the moment.
What he just said, the fuck? Anyway.
Under the flange, Cap. What?
Under the flange? What the hell? Oh, slap it. Oh, slap it good.
Thank you very much.
Oh, I love you, Mama.
Apparently my bass playing's improved in the last few weeks.
Yeah, so it's because you're practicing.
No. What were you going to say, Charlie?
Hey, Charlie.
I was talking to you, you fool.
Oh, I thought you were on about you had a cat called Charlie in the room. Speaking of Red Hot Chili Peppers and stuff and thing, you know that thing I sometimes do on a Saturday? I might be doing that this Saturday.
Play with your flange.
I will play with my flange. But in the meantime, I have a request coming in from la 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 la. Don't know why I'm using a Christmas tune. La 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 la. That's la la. He wants a bit of with Flimbo's Quest.